first 6 holes even par, last 12 holes 7 under. What turned it around for you?
I mean, there's a lot of birdie holes out here, and so as it was a bit frustrating off the start. I didn't really play many solid holes. The first hole was really solid, and after that, it was just kind of not. I didn't have many birdie looks. It wasn't necessarily like fighting for par or anything, but missed a couple of easy fairways to hit, and just kind of behind the 8 ball all day. And then finally got the first birdie, and I kind of finally settled in, and all of a sudden I had a look on every hole and started to capitalize, and that was just really it. It was just staying patient, and did a good job of that.
Talk about the birdie at 18. You chipped it in from off the back of the green. You made it look awful easy. That wasn't that easy of a shot.
I'm fortunate that it went in. It was kind of a thick lie. It was one of those that was sitting up, but you could kind of tell that if you caught too much grass, it could go nowhere. And I just wanted to ensure that it got onto the green, and once it landed, it was kind of motoring, but it caught a good piece of the flag, and I was just fortunate that it went in.
Talk about this golf course. What do you like about it? It's obviously beautiful. What do you like about this place?
I mean, obviously, yeah, the views are great, especially on the back nine. The greens roll really well, especially for how much rain it's taken in the last month, I hear. Yeah, I mean, it fits my game. It's a lot of wedges. I pride on working hard on those, so it gives me an opportunity to score, and I mean, it feels like all the guys have to hit it pretty much in the same spot, so unless you drive the green. But Bryson's not here this week, so I guess that gives me a good chance.
Lastly, when you go bogey-free, I mean, you guys are really good, but when you card a bogey-free round, that's got to be kind of special.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's one of the goals for me, especially because I typically shoot about how many birdies I make, so trying to keep those off the card, especially when there are so many scoring opportunities. I feel like the big focal point this week is the par 5s and the par 3s. As many birdies you can make on the par 5s, and as many pars or better you can make on the par 3s. And those are typically the hardest holes out here on any tournament usually, but especially this week with 16 and 8 being so difficult. And so if you can kind of get away, and 13 is actually very sneaky hard as well. And so if you can get away with even par in the par 3s and 3 under in the par 5s this week, you're going to have a good chance at the end of the week.
Doug, thanks. Great start.
Thank you so much.
Doug, you had some struggles kind of at the beginning of the season. Is there anything you did in particular to turn things around and put any changes in your approach?
Yeah, I mean, last year was tough when I got through the Corn Ferry. Was so glad to make it, but there wasn't much time for me to kind of reflect and what the difference were, and I didn't have as much success as I wanted on the Corn Ferry Tour. Obviously, seeing guys like Will Zalatoris and Davis Riley and Scotty Scheffler doing as well as they have done, I didn't have that type of success for me to feel settled in. I kind of just barely made it, and then all of a sudden was running on fumes and trying to compete against even better players on harder golf courses. And as a rookie too, it's hard to get into a lot of the events, and so every opportunity seems like a big deal. And so I wasn't quite ready for that, and the hiatus was a big deal for me to get some time to reflect and change a couple of clubs in the bag and try to kind of recapture feels that I had in college. And so my bag kind of emulates that. But yeah, it was just kind of nice to get away and try to realize that I had a great opportunity to be here on the tour and not put too much pressure on myself. And I knew that if I could just play the way that I know how to play without comparing myself to anybody else, I would be fine. And so to be able to start back fresh in Napa, and it kind of feels like the rookie year that I want to have so far, playing a lot better and obviously have a lot better attitude going into it, and looking forward to the rest of the season.
Is that kind of a silver lining in the way the season shook out, that you had an extra year where you might have had to go back to camp sometime?
Absolutely. It gave me an opportunity to kind of adjust and kind of experiment a little bit with equipment and everything and swing, and it gave me the opportunity to test some things that I've been working on. I got a new mental coach as well over the break, and trying to look at things from a different perspective. And it gave me, I didn't play particularly well when I came back, but I started playing better at the end of the season and kind of carried that into the new season. So yeah, all of that kind of the comeback of golf, the 4 or 5 events I got to play before the season was over, was huge for me because it gave me confidence because I saw everything going in the right direction, and the idea that everyone starts back at 0 was amazing for me, and because it's really hard to come back into a season where you're 206th in the FedEx Cup, and trying to make the playoffs from there is, I mean, even if I was playing great, it's already feel like you're way behind, and so it was kind of like a nice refresher to get to Napa and see everyone at 0 and play well and be in a good position right off the bat.
Did you go back to any clubs that you played in college? Or
I kind of changed back to similar clubs to college. I'm not going to say any brands, but yeah, I had a particular set that I liked, and I kind of went back to a set that emulated it, just maybe a couple of advanced models just because of the times have changed. But yeah, I kind of went back to similar feels, similar shafts, similar everything, and it's worked out pretty well.
And that was during the hiatus?
Yes.
Do you ever look back on that putt at Evansville, the 72nd hole, because had you not made it, it probably would have been 2 years since you could have been out on the PGA Tour?
Yeah, obviously super grateful that I had made that. But I mean, the Korn Ferry Tour is a great place to be either way. I mean, when you're on it and you're trying to make it to the PGA Tour, it doesn't always seem that way. But when you, I mean, being from Vegas and seeing all my friends who are working their butt off just to get to the Korn Ferry Tour, you realize like how great it actually is to be out there. I mean, obviously, nothing's better than the PGA Tour. We all want to be out here, but yeah, in the same line, it's very gratifying to be here and have status going in to 21 as well. And so, very grateful I made the putt, and it's definitely too an experience that I draw back on whenever I have to make one under pressure, and knowing that there's nothing really more scary than that putt right there, and to make it and to know that I can make a putt like that under that type of pressure, it gives me a confidence going forward.
Thanks, Doug.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You got it. Keep it going.